As it is the year of the dragon in the Chinese astrological calendar, I thought it would be appropriate to gather together some thoughts and images about the significance of dragons and their influence on the creative mind of the potter over centuries. Ever since one of the oldest human inventions, which was making something out of clay, as far back as Neolithic times, potters have either made functional or artistic wares by copying something they know or have seen, or by creating the piece or its supplied image from their imagination. Now, when it comes to dragons, are they real or imagined? Where do you suppose the idea of dragons comes from? There is a theory that dinosaurs could well have been called dragons, but humans weren't around then. Ancient Chinese also referred to unearthed dinosaur bones as dragon bones and documented them as far back as 300 BC. Our word for dragon comes from the Greek word for serpent, and we know that they come in many forms from the land, from the sea, from the air. The mind boggles. We actually call that wonderful reptile from the Indonesian islands the Komodo dragon. Dragons have appeared independently in the art, mythology, and folklore of many cultures and civilizations throughout history. Dragon mythology abounds, particularly in the Chinese mythology, where one can find an endless variety of examples of their influence on the work of the potters going back a long way. So let's have a look at some of these. Hand-painted images of dragons on antique oriental porcelain, starting with two baluster-shaped pots from the Korean Chosun dynastic period, with similar dragon motifs painted in underglazed cobalt blue, one intense and one paler. Two Ming Dynasty moon flasks with hand-painted dragon decoration and other symbols. The dragon on the right side flask is painted with on-glaze iron oxide enamel. Another beautifully executed dragon decoration on the Ming plate on the left, and the one plate has a dragon embossed in white on a royal blue glaze. The bowl on the left is iron oxide underglaze painted decoration, and on the right an enamelled yellow ground has been overpainted in iron oxide enamel. Here are two excellent examples of red iron decoration on these bowls from the Guangdong dynasty. A cobalt-decorated baluster pot, a green dragon using copper or chrome green on glazed enamels, and a dish with cobalt and iron oxide decoration, all done over 300 years ago. And here are two more decorative ideas on these Chinese porcelain vases. On the right, a cobalt blue dragon painted on a yellow ground. Here we see three more distinctly different decorative techniques. The vase on the right shows a dragon created by applied slip decoration, which can possibly be seen better on these two vintage Japanese pots from the Noritake Pottery, magnificently applied slip decoration. And now let's examine some vases with applied, brilliantly modelled dragon forms. The Japanese Hirado potteries of the Meiji period produced many exquisitely crafted wares, and as dragon mythology abounded in Japan, these lovely pieces bear expertly crafted dragon adornments. A clever Hong Kong potter, Johnson Cheng, made this vase he called Dragon Strangling a Porcelain Vase, and you can see by this close-up detail that he was an expert in the art of modelling and decoration with a great imagination to go with it. Here are two distinctly different vases with dragon handles. Now let's look at some dragon sculptures in various forms of shape, size, texture and colour. The Hungarian Herend porcelain factory, renowned for its high quality of workmanship and design, has produced some delightfully colourful dragon sculptures such as these shown here. Here are two impressive, highly decorated and expertly sculptured dragons. Here are two different views of this cute little dragon, possibly in earthenware. And on the left, a Selden glazed dragon and a terracotta one on the right. The Chinese Dehua potteries, known for its expertise in producing blank de chine, or totally white porcelains, made this fabulous dragon about the end of the 19th century. The psychological myth theory states how myths are based on human emotion and that they come from the human subconscious mind. Cultures all around the world had similar fears, questions, and wishes which to them were unexplainable, and therefore myths were created. These subconscious images came into reality at the hands of the creative artists of the world, the potters and painters alike. Dragon teapots. We have a Japanese Satsuma teapot and one from Mexico with totally varying decorative techniques. This is another Japanese Satsuma teapot in the more typical or recognizable Satsuma style of decoration. And these lovely tankard-shaped teapots were made at the Japanese Hirado works. The sencha refers to the type of green tea served from them. I found these images of two pots, a vase and a jug, obviously inspired this time by the English dragon, which were produced and decorated by Robert Wallace Martin back in 1895. The English potters, the Martin brothers, were more well known for their wally birds, curious bird vessels which now fetch a huge amount of money. Now for some tile panels featuring dragons. It goes without saying that you would most likely find these tile panels in China or Chinese-speaking countries. The one on the left is on the front of the Singapore Chamber of Commerce, and on the right from the Forbidden City in Beijing. The tile panel on the left is also from the Forbidden City, and on the right, a roof dragon finial, a common addition to Chinese pagodas and the like. Dragon mythology abounds in the British Isles, St. George and the Dragon and so on, and the dragon roof finial is also very prominent there on many old buildings. And finally, a few more images of very much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it.